I want to create a new learning space for a project on UK regional dialects. To do this, I need to create a course in the VLE and enrol some students on it. A learning space for the course will be created automatically for me. So, within the portal, I click on the Learning Spaces tab. From the Learning Space browser, I click on Manage Learning Spaces to open the VLE under a new tab in the same browser window. Though note that in some browsers, the VLE will open in an entirely new window. I'm going to create the course in my own My Courses folder within the English Language subfolder. So, I select the English Language subfolder and click the Create a New Course button. I enter a name and description for the course and then click Save. I'll add an overall objective for the course. I'll create some subfolders for 3 learning units. I'll just call them Unit 1, 2 and 3. I've previously created some relevant link-based resources, so I'll search for these and add them to Unit 1. Now I'll enrol some students on the course. If I now look in the portal under either the My Learning Spaces tab or the Active Learning Spaces tab after the view has been refreshed, I can see that a learning space for the course has been automatically created with the same name as the course. Under the My Learning Spaces tab, both the original course and the enrolled course appear, but only the enrolled course has an associated learning space. I'll open the learning space by clicking on its name. The list of learning units reflects the course structure I have set up in the VLE. At the top, there is a learning unit for the course itself. If I click this to open it, I will see the overall objective I have created. I can also open individual learning units by clicking on them. Here are the linked-based resources I added, which I can launch by clicking. The enrolled students, as well as all designated teachers, will automatically be made members of my new learning space. Now, I don't want students to see my new learning space until I have done some preparation work on it, so I'm going to go back into the VLE and hide it. I select the course and click the Set Viewing and Assessment Options button. Then I select the Hidden option and click OK. This hides both the course and the associated learning space from students until I'm ready. It also removes the learning space from my own list of active learning spaces, but not from my list of My Learning Spaces. OK, now I'll set a style for the learning space by selecting the Change Style option from the Customize Page menu. A style is very similar to a theme, but it applies to a specific learning space. All members of the learning space will see this style unless they have chosen the option in their My Profile to always use their personal theme when displaying learning spaces. For some learning space styles, you can also select a background colour. I'm now going to add some tools to the learning space in exactly the same way as I would in an interest space. By default, the learning space contains news and what's on web parts, but I'm also going to create a blog for members to share ideas and add a picture library web part to store and display photos. First, I'll add a blog. Here is the blog, and here is a link to it from the left-hand navigation bar. Now I'll add a Picture Library web part to the shared view of the index page for the learning space. While I'm editing the page, I'll take the opportunity to add some text to the content area at the top left of the index page. Then publish the page. I might want to change the permissions that members have to the available tools, for example to allow students to contribute. This is described in a separate video, Controlling Learning Space Permissions. I am now ready to make the learning space visible to students so they can start using it. Students have a similar view of the learning space to my own, but they cannot see the links in the VLE Teachers site. They can only access their own work and markbook in the VLE Students site. Students as well as teachers can override the learning space's style with their own personal theme if they wish, by changing a setting in their profile, as you can see. As the learning space evolves, I or other teacher members can add further pages and tools to keep students interested and engaged.